officer brought out that we went into slavery on ships. Why did he say we went into slavery on ships? Because we did what?
Y'all had to cross the border, man.
Say it again?
You had to cross the border.
Yes, we came to slavery on ships, but why did God allow that to happen to us? That's what I'm asking. Why did God allow the so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans to go through something like that? Why? For what? For not listening, right? For not keeping his commandments, right? Let me read that for you again. I'm going to give you a law, because I see you doing something the officer finna address, and I'm going to address it also. Read that, 28:15. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So you gotta listen what he's saying. He said if we don't hearken, if we don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, read, you listen to me, bro? Yeah. Listen now, I want you gotta listen good. Not to me, listen what he read, because he reading out the book. You feel me? The Bible. So read it from the top again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
So he said if you don't listen to do what? All his commandments. You got that? Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said he's going to put curses on us if we don't keep his commandments, right? Give me that in 1 Corinthians 3 about the temple. Because you was just smoking this tobacco, right? You was just smoking, you blowing it out. Did you know that's against God? Did you know that? You didn't know that, right? But I'm going to show you God don't want us doing that because we defiling ourselves. Watch this.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 16. 3 and 16. 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temples of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
He said, know ye not that you, what's your name again?
Yeah.
Did you know, Derek, that you are the temple of God? Your body is a temple of God, right? Read, he said that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you, meaning in your temple.
Walk on the outlet.
Hold on, read this.
If any man defile the temple of God.
If any man defile the temple, like smoking, right? He said, you are a temple. If you defile the temple, you destroy your temple by smoking and all the stuff going in, you messing up your lungs and all that when you inhaling that stuff, right? So he said, if you defile your temple, read,
him God shall destroy.
The Most High God said he gonna have to destroy you. He gonna have to kill you, right? Now what you had said before I stated that? You had said something. So you know the commandment, we weren't supposed to smoke. He said he gonna destroy you for defiling your temple, right? You feel me, right?
I thought it was like a drug. Tobacco ain't a drug, huh?
Tobacco, yeah, it's defiling your... Okay, let me ask you something. If you can leave it on the box of the tobacco, it say it can give you cancer, right? So is it good for your body?
Ching.
Is it? No, if it's not, it's telling you it's gonna give you cancer. You've seen people that caught throat cancer, lung cancer, right?
Yeah.
For what? What they was doing to catch that? They was smoking. That's why on the box to give you warning. You smoke this, this the consequence can happen to you. They telling you it ain't good for you to be smoking. Right. Right? That's why God, we go back to 1 Corinthians again, read it again. That's what God told us this already. You defiling your temple, he's gonna destroy you. Want to read it again?
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temples of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
He said, no, you, Derek, you are the temple of God. The Spirit of God dwelleth in your temple, meaning your body. Right. Read.
If any man defile the temple of the...
If any man defile the body that belongs to God, read.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
Hey, say, boss, won't you get out of the truck, come talk to me for a second? No, we don't need your money. We just want to conversate with you. That's it. It ain't going to take long. Just come talk to us for a second. So you heard what they said, Derek. He said, we defile the temple of God, we shall destroy. Now let me ask you this. Because you are an Israelite, right? I'm going to ask you a question, though. Did our forefathers go into slavery on ships? Our foreparents. Because down here, what's the boat they found? The Catilda? You know about that? How old you is? How old you is? You 23. Well, it's a boat that washed up down here in the city of Mobile somewhere, in the county of Mobile somewhere. There was a slave ship. It was docked off the water. I guess it sunk back in the days, and it washed up on shore. down here in the county of Mobile, showing Mobile have history of slavery. The history, they got a town called Africa Town, right? You know about Africa Town?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, Africa Town, that's what descendants of slaves was stationed at, right? Am I right, officer? That's where they were stationed at, in Africa Town, right? So Mobile is got a history of slavery.
Right.
But us going into the slavery that way, meaning on ships, it was documented in the Bible to happen to us that we were going to go into slavery on ships, right? Now I'm asking you again, your history, foreparents back in the day, they came into slavery on ships, right? So their history proving that we are the children of Israel. Give me Deuteronomy 28:45. Deuteronomy 28:45. Because I want to show you that we are the children of Israel. Once you realize that you are the children of Israel, the officer proved that you are God on this earth. Meaning we supposed to be above all people. We're supposed to stand tall. We don't supposed to go through the things we go through. But the reason we going through these trials and these tribulations because we not being obedient to God. You feel me? Because like for instance, they sell cigarettes in these stores. Who the majority go in these stores and buy boxes of Newports?
Bring it out.
Our people, right? You give me Newport long, give me Newport short, give me a Black and Mild. That's our people, right? So, but God said He gonna destroy our temple for doing that. But we defiling that commandment, right? We breaking that law. He said don't do it, we doing it, right? Watch this though, read this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
So God said, look, y'all break my law, these curses is gonna overtake you. Pursue you, meaning, it don't matter where you go to, bruh. You can leave out of Mobile, you can go up there to Birmingham. It's gonna be brothers still on the block, brothers still going through tribulation, the county jail field. You go to Montgomery, same thing, brothers on the block, brothers ain't got no jobs, brothers feel the prison system, the jailhouse system down there. That's what's going on here. So no matter where we go, we got the same problems. Wouldn't you agree? We got the same problems. But the reason we having these problems, because we're not being obedient to God and His commandments, being His chosen people. You feel me? Let's look at us now. We're destroying people. You got a job? I'm asking you, do you have a job?
Yeah, I'm major.
Huh?
I'm major. That's my job, man.
You a major?
No, I'm major. That's my job, man.
You major. I'm saying, do you have a physical job? Did you go out and go to work to make money? That's what I'm asking.
No, I used to.
You used to, but you don't now, right? If you look at a lot of the young men at your age, we don't have jobs. We really walking around here clueless. Like we don't really know what's going on, right? Because all right, when the last time you had a job? Let me ask you that. About 3 years ago.
About 2 years.
So you've been going years without working. Give me that Thessalonians work. Let me show you. It's a commandment as the children of Israel that you must today, when you leave here, you must stop smoking and you must go get a job. You must go get a. This is what God said. This ain't what I'm saying. This is what God commanded you, Derek.
Right.
This is listen. When we obey God, we pick up wisdom. We know how to maneuver through this world. We know how to do things. We know how to quit getting our hand burned. You know how when you little, you touch your iron and it burn you, and you don't touch it no more. When you hear the word of God, you realize that when I'm being obedient to God, I'm instead of getting burnt. I can't keep doing that. I'm getting a headache every day. I'm stressed out every day, so I resort to drugs.
Right.
Why? Because I'm not doing what God commands me to do, right? You feel what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand, bro, this is the medicine, bro. We out here literally trying to give our people the medicine to heal us, to heal a problem, to heal a solution. This is the medicine. We just gotta be obedient. You got that?
Yes, sir.
All right, read this.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, and verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we command you.
This is what God said. This is what He command you, Derek. Read.
That if any would not work,
if you don't go to work, Derek, you need to go find a job right now, Derek, then what?
Neither should he eat.
The Bible says you shouldn't even sit down at the kitchen table and eat.
Bring it out.
You need to go get a job, brother. You feel what I'm saying? So these give me Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Because like I said, when we do this, come on up, sis. She trying to stop here? She's trying to listen. Come up a little more so I can talk to her. See when she come up a little more, Alice. You got it? All right, read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep thy forth and do them,
So he said, the Most High said, keep thy forces. We teaching this young brother that we are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. You ever heard that before? You done heard that before, right? So us being God's chosen people, we got stipulations that we must abide by. What's going on in our community? We hide crime. We hide drugs. The young men have no jobs. They have no sense of direction. Why is this going on? Now then we got to think about ourselves. Is we being obedient to God? No. As a nation of people, we not being obedient to God, right? And I'm showing this young brother, this how he pick up wisdom, by being obedient to God, so he can navigate through Mobile. Right. So he can know he can get him a family, get him a wife. Right. You know what I'm saying? Live prosperously. Don't have to sell drugs or commit crimes. That's what we trying to show this young brother right here. Right. You feel me, sis? Watch this. Read this.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep that book and do them. Read. For this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Hold on. The Bible said keep that for and do what? The commandments. He said this is your wisdom and your understanding. So when we do the commandments, we picking up wisdom, bro. Just think about it, bro. You ain't got to answer. You too, sis. If you think about the people you came up with, some may be doing okay, but a lot of them is on drugs. They walk around bugged out. They ain't got no sense. They really walk around like walking zombies right now, right? But the reason being, because, read this again, because they not doing this. Watch this.
Keep their book and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation. Read. Which shall hear all these statutes and say.
So the Bible, so God said when we keep his commandments, the nations, the other nations, the white man, the Chinese man, the Arab man, they gonna look right now. Them nations look at us like we just some more niggas. Right. Them some niggas. Let me put pork. Let me set up a shop in their neighborhood. They gonna come give me all their money. They don't know no better. I'm gonna overcharge them for everything they come in and buy. I'm gonna go buy for the low. I'm gonna put double on them. They don't even know it because they ain't got no wisdom to understand. You go buy this same stuff for dirt cheaper. So we had the other nations know that. But when we come back to God's laws, he said, what these nations gonna say?
Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
So when they see us turning back to God's laws, they're gonna be like, man, Derek, that's a wise young brother. Right. That brother is dead wise. That brother is navigating. That brother got a family now. That brother got a wife and kids he's taking care of. They're gonna say he not committing crime, so we ain't gotta call the police on Derek. You see what I'm saying, Derek? This is what we trying to show our people. God's laws is the healing. God's laws. We must come back together. I'm gonna give you a law. Give me Zephaniah 2. Let me show you, bro. See, you a young brother. You walk. I see you walk across the street. The problem is you need men on side of you. You need men standing firm to show you, no, Derek, we can't do this. No, Derek, come this way. Because a lot of times we don't have no guidance. The father's not in the house. The father's not marrying the mothers. That's what's going on. It's fatherless children that's growing up effeminate, murderers. It's young brothers that'll walk up to you 10 to 15 and will shoot you dead in your head. They don't even have a father. They mother, they bigger than their mama. So the mama trying to whoop him, but he bigger than her now. So it ain't even working. But when we come back to God's law, we understand, I can't just lie with this sister. I gotta marry her. I gotta raise these kids properly. I don't want my son effeminate or my daughter whored out, right? When you get kids, you don't want your daughter to be a whore. You don't want your son to be a punk or a effeminate or a sodomite. You don't want those things because they go against nature, right? What you got? That's what you get. Give me that.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read that.
Gather yourselves together.
So you hear that, sis? You hear that, bro? The Bible said we must gather together. We must come back together, bro. But you got a flyer? I think it fell out your pocket. I had picked it up. Hey, sis. Sis. She on the phone now? Hey, sis, I want to talk to you now. Listen, read this again. I want you to listen to this. I want you and Derek to listen to this. This very important information. Read this.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Read.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together.
So the Most High God said we must gather together. Because right now we separated as a people.
Right.
We won't help one another unless it's beneficial for us.
Right.
But that ain't how God wanted us rolling. Right. He said, gather yourselves together, read.
O nation, not desired.
He said, all nation not desired. We as a nation that's not, don't nobody want to deal with us.
Right.
We don't even want to deal with us.
Right.
That's what's going on. We don't even want to deal with us, but God told us to gather back together. It's very important for you, young brother. You too, sis. But you just want brother here. You must gather. You must come join with these men so we can hold you accountable for walking straight. So you won't be out here navigating by yourself. We can show you no, Derek, you can't go that way. Derek, come on, keep the Sabbath. Derek, the new moon upon us. Let's go celebrate at the new moon. We keeping God's laws in joyfulness.
Right.
And we getting wisdom. Remember what I tell you? We keep the law, we get wisdom. Remember I told you that? We keep these laws, we get wisdom. Give me that in Leviticus 13 about this sister over here. What's your name, sis? What's your name? Miss Graham. Okay, Miss Graham. Remember I said we got to keep God's laws to get wisdom, right? Right? And you said we don't keep God's laws. Wouldn't you agree? As a nation of people, we don't. Just look at our communities. But this is one of God's laws. He made it is a trend in the world today. The little boys doing it, the little girls doing it, the older women doing it, everybody doing this, but don't know that God is against it. Right? If God against something, you want to know, right? So you won't do it, right?
Right.
I'm finna show you what God against that you doing right now, so you can fix yourself and don't do it no more. Why? To gain wisdom from God. Read this.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 29. If a man or a woman have a plague upon their head.
So he said if a man or a woman have a plague on their head, so whatever he's finna talk about is a plague according to him. Right. Read.
Or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
So God said the yellow thin hair, what we call it blonde hair. God called it a plague. He said the man or the woman don't supposed to put the plague on their beard or their head.
Right.
This is what God said. Right now we look at it's a fashion going on. It's a fashion statement. But who hair grow naturally blonde? The other nations. The white woman have blonde hair. You see a white blonde haired woman, right? What color do our hair grow naturally? Naturally. Miss Graham, I'm talking to you. What color do our hair grow naturally, dude? Brown and black, I can agree, right? So, what color, let me ask you this. So God said the blonde hair is a plague. Give me Romans 3 and 31.
No.
Romans 3 and 31. Remember I said the other nations, the white woman mainly, that's who got natural blonde hair. Let me show you what God told us not to do after them. That's it. Read it. Let me see. You want to say that?
Proverbs.
Yeah, Proverbs. Give me that Proverbs. My fault. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Watch this, sis.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
So God said, don't envy the oppressor. Don't like the oppressor ways. We'll say, no, I'm not really not thinking about that. Yeah, they got blonde hair, but I'm not thinking about it. I do it because it's a fashion. But God said, you falling after the oppressor who naturally grow hair like that. So he said, envy not. Don't like that. Don't like it because it's a plague. I did their hair like that to plague them.
Right.
I made a plague on their head. I don't want you to do it. You feel what I'm saying? You hear me, bro? Watch this. Read from the top again.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Do what?
Choose none of his ways.
God said choose none of their ways.
Right.
None of their ways.
Right.
Down to the hair, down to the customs. Like what? What's Halloween?
Bring it out.
Halloween is up on us, right? Do God want us sending our kids doing Halloween? No, right? So why do we do it? Watch it, let me ask you this, sis. So you said no. You said no. But when we go do these things, not just Halloween, Thanksgiving coming up.
Right.
Christmas coming up. God just said, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of their ways.
That's right.
None of their ways, right? So let me ask you this. If we go do Christmas, if we go do Thanksgiving or Halloween, is we in sin according to God? I'm asking you a question. We not? I'm asking, no. I can't hear you, sis.
Said not for Thanksgiving.
Not for Thanksgiving, right?
Not for Thanksgiving.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know the history of Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
The history. No, right? So really, you really just following the custom then.
Right.
Give me that at Mark 7:8. Hold that. Go back to Mark 7 and 8. Watch this. Let me show you that's a tradition of men. Thanksgiving,
Right.
Christmas, Halloween. God didn't give us that. That's it. 7 and 8. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Mark chapter 7 and verse 8.
Read that.
For laying aside the commandment of God.
So we laying aside the commandment of God. Don't follow the way of the heathen. That's the commandment of God. Don't do it.
Right.
When we go against that and do what?
Ye hold the tradition of men.
And we hold the traditions of men. The history of Thanksgiving, the white man came over here, the natives was already here, which is our brothers, the tribe of Gad, Reuben. Them was our brothers that's already here. And what did they do to them? Let me ask you a question, Ms. Graham. What did they do? What did Christopher Columbus do to the natives? They slaughtered them. So this land right here, who was here first, the white man or the Indians? Who was here first? In Mobile County, who was here first, the white man or the Native Americans? Ma'am? What'd she say? The Indians was here first, right? Now, today, who owned the land? Today. The white man.
Right.
So the history of Thanksgiving, they give us a watered down story that the Pilgrims and the Indians came together and they had a feast. They gave us smallpox and blankets, destroyed them, killed all the oxen, all they livestock, killed them.
Right.
Now where the Indians at? When the last time you seen the Indians? You haven't, me either. Where are they at then? They still on earth. But where are they, you know where the white man put them at? On reservations. And then on the reservations, they don't support them. They don't give them the natural stuff, water and gases and dumps like they do over here. They put, you fend for yourself. You gonna fend for yourself on the reservation. So, is Thanksgiving God custom or the world custom?
No.
Give me Colossians 2.
No.
Give me Colossians 2. Watch this, sis. We can't follow the traditions of men. We going against God. No, hold on. Before you get that, give me what is sin. Because I asked you, sis, if we doing what the world does and not following God, is we in sin? And you said no, right? That's what you said. Not knowing, but you said that because you really didn't know. You really wasn't positive. You just really was going off hoping you was right.
Right.
But when we out here trying to show our people that we have been destroyed,
Right.
we have been misled for generation after generation after generation after generation.
Right.
We have been misled.
Right.
We haven't been taught the Holy Bible the proper way.
Right.
Watch this.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin.
He said, whosoever committeth sin, you with me, bro? When we found out what is sin, he said, whosoever committeth sin,
Transgressive also the law.
read,
For sin is the transgression of the law.
for sin is the transgression of God's laws. So sin is breaking of God's laws. Now give me that in Colossians 2. We found out Thanksgiving really not. We use Thanksgiving, we say, we coming together as a family, we eat good,
Bring it out.
we don't have to go to work.
Right.
So we use that as, okay, well, I'm not doing it this way, it's just a celebration I'm doing with my family. But why can't we do that on another day? Why can't we come together as another day? Like the new moon,
Right.
like
Right.
one of God's feast days.
Right.
Because God give us feast days, so we party harder than every evil holiday in America. On God's days. And what we doing? We gaining wisdom by keeping God's commandments.
Right.
You feel me, sis? Watch this, read that.
The book of Colossians.
Now we talking about Thanksgiving, we talk about Halloween, and we talk about Christmas. Right here in this passage. Read this.
The book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy.
He said, watch before you get spoiled in philosophies like you, sis. You said Thanksgiving wasn't against God, but you have been deceived.
Right.
Right.
That's why God said, beware lest any man spoil you. Why?
Through philosophy and vain deceit after the tradition of men.
God said, beware for you get tricked to follow the tradition of men, thinking it's okay.
Right.
Right.
Thinking it's okay. But God is against a lot of stuff that we are doing That's why our communities are plagued.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.